Welcome back to another Team Saunders Try Zwift Racing live stream. We are so glad you're here, and while you're here, if you'd subscribe and give this video a like, we would be grateful. Thanks, as always, for the support. Now, let's get down to the sweaty business. Fresh off her podium finish in Saturday's Zwift Insider Tiny Race Series, Caitlin is back in racing mode and ready to throw down in tonight's Monday Night Crit Racing Club event. Last week, Caitlin placed 5th overall in Group D of the Monday Night Crit on the Neokyo Crit course, averaging 197 watts for just over 31 minutes of racing. She's back for more tonight and heads to the LaGuardia Loop Reverse in New York City, a short but relentless crit course that keeps the pressure on with constant turns and rolling terrain. Each lap is just 1.7 miles with 89 feet of gain, but over the course of 7 laps, that adds up to 13.6 miles and nearly 700 feet of climbing. The lap banner doubles as the sprint banner, meaning we'll see some explosive efforts throughout the race, especially on the New York Sprint Reverse segment, just 0.1 miles long, but the perfect spot to attack and also get those power-ups. This course was Zwift's first official event-only route, meaning you can't just hop on and ride it. You have to earn your suffering by joining an event like this one. And with lap count and constant intensity, it's the perfect circuit for crit-style racing. Of course, we want you to be a part of the action too. Drop your predictions and cheers in the live chat. And if you're enjoying the live stream, consider sending us a super thanks. It helps us keep bringing you exciting race coverage and evolving our fun content. All right, let's get ready for some fast and furious Zwift racing. Caitlin's at the start line. She's ready to sweat, and we are about to go. And just like that, we are in New York City. The weather looks lovely. Caitlin, good evening. How are you tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited coming off of that great week of tiny races I had this past Saturday. Hoping to carry that into this evening.
And you've had quite a run here on the Monday Night Crit Series. Last week you finished what we thought was 6th place overall. Actually, I was looking on Zwift Power earlier this evening and somehow you got bumped up. So you had a top 5 finish unbeknownst to you until just now. And you were right under the 200 watt average for 31 minutes. I mean, you gotta be riding high. You've just had such a great week on the bike.
Yeah, I am. I really am. It seems like each time I do a race, I just perform better and better, and I hope that that's going to play off in the long run, which is our half Ironman relay coming up in less than 4 weeks.
That's kind of crazy when you say it out loud. I mean, sometimes I actually forget that we're going to be racing in less than 4 weeks because I'm so caught up in the day-to-day and you know, watching you bust out the watts, and I'm in the pool working on the swim, and you know, Colin is in Nashville getting those hills taken care of as far as the run is concerned because he'll be our runner. So, you know, we've been so caught up in our day-to-day that the reality doesn't hit me until somebody mentions or reminds me that we're going to be racing in Puerto Rico. And, you know, oh, by the way, the weather's going to be a lot nicer in Puerto Rico than it's been here in Texas, and especially for Colin in Nashville. I think they're going to get snow later this week. So we'll be looking forward to the tropical climate soon.
That we will, yeah. It's been a roller coaster here in Texas. Granted, it doesn't get as cold as other parts of the country, but it's been a wild winter.
Well, a wild winter of training also, because it's a bit unconventional, not doing as much structured workouts, but every Monday you've been here, you've been on the bike consistently, and you know, learning to get more out of yourself, learning to push yourself when it gets tough. So tonight you'll be taking on the LaGuardia Loop Reverse. Any thoughts on this course? Did you do any reconnaissance or intel prior to, or has this just been kind of a manic Monday for you?
It's been a Monday like most Mondays typically are, but I did see a little bit about it, pretty much what you saw in the pre-race report from Tiffany. I do know that it's 7 laps, so I should be getting 7 power-ups. Not sure yet what those power-ups will be. Sometimes it's only a couple that they rotate through.
Well, it won't take us too long to find out what that will be, because the start is about 90 seconds away, and are you ready, Caitlin?
Oh yeah, definitely so.
And that first sprint comes up pretty quick. Again, the 1.7 mile loop, they're gonna get those power-ups fast and furious, and it'll be interesting to see what the race dynamics are tonight. Looks like there's about 13 people who have joined so far, so a little on the smaller side as it's been the last few weeks, but nonetheless, in Group D, you know that the competitors are gonna bring it. You know it's gonna be frenzied. There's gonna be a lot of strategies concerned, so you know, who knows? You never know, and that's why you show up. Caitlin, love that you're sporting the green to match your recently earned dyno kit. Level 76, also got the Pain Cave lights shining green for you. 39 seconds to go before this one tops off, and we won't bother you anymore. Maybe you can give us some insight during the race if you feel like it, but no pressure. I'll handle the commentary for you and call out the play-by-play as far as what is going on. But again, thank you for joining us on this Monday night, our live Zwift crit racing live stream. Get involved in the comments. We'd really love to see you there. I know this is something new that we've just gotten started, and speaking of getting started, Caitlin is less than 10 seconds away from crossing that start banner. And here they go. The Monday Night Crit Racing Club is underway. And Caitlin is out of the gates once again, leading the charge. Somebody already trying to do a breakaway right from the get-go. Karu is heading away. It looks like the Frenchman is trying to set the tone already. Will it be a game of cat and mouse, or will he try to stay away? He's pulling away quite a bit by a 3-second lead already. Caitlin will probably try to play a smart strategy with this one, not get caught up in the early surge. Stay with this pack as much as she can and take advantage of the power-ups when she can get them. And speaking of power-ups, we do have a power-up on the screen. And that one is the draft boost, which increases your draft effect for 40 seconds. So Caitlin will go to the well and use it right now, as she is going to take advantage of the drafting that she can get. 40-second advantage. That'll keep her up in the front part of this front pack. If you missed the start of this race, one rider already went off ahead in the breakaway. We'll see if he'll be able to hold on, or if the peloton can bring him back over the course of this 13-plus mile route. And just about to say goodbye to that drafting boost is Caitlin. And there it goes. But again, that'll come back around quickly. Not sure exactly what the power-ups will be. It is randomly assigned, but the draft boost on round 1 for Caitlin, she'll get 1 power-up each lap in the New York Sprint Reverse section. Caitlin averaging 223 watts here in the early stages of this race. If you weren't with us on Saturday, Caitlin did the Tiny Race series, 4 races over the course of an hour with minimal rest in between, and she was able to average more than 200 watts in each of the 4 races, which is a first for her. Last week in this crit series, she averaged 197 watts for 31 minutes. So whoever the rider was that broke away appears not to be broken away anymore, as it shows Caitlin alternating between first and second place in this group. Don't know if that was some hijinks by someone or something legit, or we may never know, but nonetheless, Caitlin in the front of this lead pack now on the LaGuardia Reverse Crit course. And here comes another segment. Just a little bit of a slight pitch uphill at the finish of this less than 0.1 mile segment. And we'll see what power up comes her way this time, as she will be the second one through the arch this time, and waiting on the power up. And it is once again going to be that draft boost. Caitlin, you don't have to answer us, but you get the draft boost or the feather tonight. Is there one you prefer over the other?
They both do well if you use them properly.
That's a great answer. Great answer. So Caitlin waiting for her moment to use it properly. As there's a good amount of riders in this front pack. Caitlin now at 217 watts for the average so far. Heart rate 173. And again, if you saw those tiny races, you know that Caitlin's heart rate, when she's really pumping and really pushing over the course of a long period of time, will be right about 180, 181 max. Again, thank you for tuning in this Monday night, spending about 30 minutes of your evening with us. We've been having fun trying out the live streams, doing something a little bit different, and giving Caitlin some motivation to perform on the global stage, so to speak. I think it's been a big boost for her and something we each look forward to at the end of our Monday. So again, thank you for tuning in and supporting Team Saunders Try. And if you would like to support Team Saunders Try in another way, feel free to give us a super thanks in the comments. Any little bit helps and allows us to keep creating this content that we just put out there because we love the sport, we love sharing, we love the community of it. And those of you who have supported Team Saunders Try from the beginning, or if you are new to our channel and our social media efforts, thank you for being a part of it and really making this sport and all that we do exciting and possible. So thank you for that. Caitlin getting a drink, and she's probably drinking a 1 hour bottle of Infinite, so about 70 carbs for this 30-minute race. She says, yes, that is correct. Do I know her well or what? Caitlin back in the front of this pack.
I'm trying to take it easy.
She doesn't want to lead the pack, I tell you that much. She does want to kind of set back a little bit. She does have that power up still at her disposal before she goes through starts lap number 3 in another segment, but trying to strategize the use of that power up to the best of her ability. This is lap 2 out of 7.
1.
You haven't done the first lap? You haven't finished the first lap yet? My bad.
No, it turns out there's 2 primes per lap.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for educating me. I did not see that on the pre-race research. So, okay, you're going to get 2 power-ups per lap.
I've noticed always the pre-race doesn't line up with what actually the race is, like what you read out there. But you can see on the map, there's 2 green sprints, and at each sprint, you got to power up.
Thank you for the feet on the ground insight, Caitlin. Appreciate that. Taking time to educate me and the viewers, and now she is going to use that drafting boost.
Use it or lose it.
That's right. Don't want to leave it in your pocket. Again, increasing the draft effect for 40 seconds. It's kind of like a NFL team with that timeout in their pocket right before halftime. You can't take it with you, so you might as well use it. Caitlin's still working her way to the arch for this next segment, and we'll see what power up she gets there. Drafting boost or the feather, and it will be the feather this next time.
Let's use it.
And she's going to use it right now. She says, I'm not wasting this one. I'm not carrying it around in my back pocket. I'm going to use the feather right now up this hill, which reduces your body weight by 10% for 30 seconds. So makes the climb just a bit easier. Any benefit you can get, take it, and Caitlin pounces on it. With this being mainly a flat crit course with not a lot of uphill, there aren't too many places to use the featherweight in this course, so she used it right there where there was that elevation gain. Just about 10 miles to go in this race. Caitlin's still among the leaders here. 210 her average on the power, 175 the heart rate, the RPMs at 90. Kind of keeping those steady, trying to ride those surges and hold off the competitors. Looks like there's about a dozen riders in this front pack out of the 18 that are in this race tonight. A lot of breath control, that's important. 8.1% on the grade on that very short, punchy climb. If you're watching, we sure would love to see you get involved in the comments. Give a shout out, give some encouragement to Caitlin. Let us know where you're watching from. We know Colin's watching in Nashville. About to get blasted with some snow this week up there. Here in Austin, Texas, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s here in the coming days. Perfect weather for riding indoors and hitting up some Zwift races. Caitlin entered tonight with a Zwift racing score of 299, trying to get over the 300 mark for the first time in her Zwift racing career. Of course, Zwift has gone to a new point series, racing score series they call it. And Caitlin is participating in Group D. We found that on these crits, tends to be pretty accurate. You see she's keeping up with the pack. Now, it's not easy, and races and crits definitely aren't meant to be, but the playing field does seem more fair as it has been in the past. They're in loop 2 out of 7 on this LaGuardia Loop Reverse.
So I think each lap only does have one prime. It was the lead-in that you got an extra one. Power up.
I think you're right there, because there was a little longer lead-in at the start. And according to the scoreboard there, you have the fastest female sprint. Appears to be 2 female participants in tonight's race. Go get it, Caitlin. Caitlin finished 3rd place female in the tiny races on Saturday in the 9 a.m. Group D. So a nice podium finish, as once again she is in this sprint segment and this preem. And you can see a lot of the riders trying to get across that banner first, and Caitlin crosses the line and will get another power up. And once again gets that draft boost. as they start lap 3 now. Caitlin's average power at 207. 13 minutes in. Usually these races right around 30 minutes. So it's a long, sustained effort of holding the power. How deep are you willing to dig? How much are you willing to sweat?
I'm sweating.
Caitlin's proven every week that she's willing to push herself. She's really willing to see just how much she has. Each and every week, making gains, making improvements. After putting forth that effort on Saturday with those tiny races to bounce back 2.5 days later and turn around and do a longer sustained effort. I mean, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of desire and motivation. Maybe sometimes not necessarily motivated, but you know you just got to do it because your teammates are working hard, training. But Caitlin inspires myself to go out and do hard efforts in the pool. So I appreciate that. We keep each other accountable, lift each other up, and you know, that's just a testament to this sport, just a testament to what we do. And again, just grateful to have the ability and the capacity to be able to do what we do. Even though it's type 2 kind of fun, it's still fun. Caitlin trying to hold on to those watts. She's at 206 on the average for this race so far. And that heart rate starting to move upwards, 177. She's got that draft boost in her pocket as she works on lap 3 of 7 on the LaGuardia Loop Reverse. I know it isn't easy, but Caitlin does make it look easy. Like she has controlled breathing. She's going to use that drafting boost now. She has controlled breathing, and she really just keeps things consistent. She doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. She just keeps pushing on those pedals. Brianna watching and says, only crazy people find this fascinating, and yep, we'll agree with you 1,000%. Thanks for commenting, Brianna. We appreciate you for joining us tonight.
You're definitely part of the club right there. Crazy people.
But that's why there's so much community in this sport, because we understand what the others are going through. Even though I'm not on the bike right now, I understand what Caitlin is doing. I know I couldn't push these watts, but in my own way, suffering for 30 minutes in a workout, in a race, you know, it's insane. It's intense, but it's getting the best out of yourself in the moment. Caitlin's going to be the first one through this banner this time. Her fastest time, I believe, was the first time through, 19.66 seconds. Still holds as the fastest female time so far. And Brianna says you need to be sweating more. I agree. No doubt here in the next 13 minutes, that sweat will be pouring off, especially probably in the final 300 to 500 feet of this race when things really get spicy. Thank you for Brianna for participating in the chat. Anyone else out there, we'd love to hear from you. Give Caitlin that encouragement. She is working hard tonight, as always. Look at that. She's even got a smile on her face. Maybe she's not working hard enough.
I'm working as hard as I need to be.
If you can talk, you're not working hard enough. That's right. And she's 100% right. You know, she's working as hard as she needs to be. You don't get any bonus points for leading the pack. You know, it's about smart racing, about strategy, about keeping the group together. As we see a couple riders up ahead. But, you know, when you're riding in a pack, when you're getting that draft advantage, it is hard to break away, especially in short, spicy races. As you see, the group brings them back. Canadian rider up ahead. Oh, actually, that's somebody. These are actually people that are getting lapped, so my mistake. That's how good this front pack is riding right now. But there is a rider that is a bit ahead. Yes, great question, Brianna. Does she have to weigh in? Yes. So Caitlin does weigh in prior to the races and inputs that into her Zwift companion app. And so the watts per kilogram, those are accurate. Now, does everyone do it? Probably not. Does everyone put their honest weight in? Probably not. But there's something about us, and you know, we want to be credible, we want to be honest, and so what you're seeing is accurately reflected. I can probably look in Zwift Power and reveal her weight. She's racing at 59 kilograms, so there you go, do the conversion. And for it to count as official standings in the races and the tiny races and such, in Zwift Power, you do have to have the heart rate monitor, the weight, and the smart trainer, or an officially accepted method of measuring power. Virtual power, none of that is not accepted. Caitlin using that drafting boost again, but there's nobody to draft off. But she does have to burn it before she gets the next one, so she'll set back in that pack a little bit. But that's a great question. Appreciate the question and an opportunity for us to explain part of the game. If you're new to Zwift, you know, there's a lot of intricacies to it, and I don't pretend to be an expert on it, but we've been Zwifting enough that we've learned over time kind of how Zwift works, how things work, and you see through experience what Zwift can be and the capacity of it. And so it really makes it a lot of fun to be able to compete and to be able to come home from work at the end of the day. Yeah, okay, you're tired, but you know, you still get to hop on the bike and you get to race with people from around the world. And this wasn't even available over 10 years ago. When I first got into the sport, you know, I had a dumb trainer and watched some videos on TV, and that was the best you could do. Now you have your own virtual world and avatar that looks pretty much spot on as what you look like in the real world. And you can chat with others, although in these crits, you know, who's got time for chatting? Caitlin getting the feather up, she'll use that again right now as there's that elevation gain in this segment. Again, the feather up reduces your body weight by 10%. You get that benefit for 30 seconds. It is about strategy and knowing when to use those as well. You definitely do not want to use your featherweight power up on a flat or a downhill section. You want to use it on the uphill when you're climbing, when being lighter is more of an advantage, trying to get up that hill. So great use of that by Caitlin. And she's learned a lot about racing, not just in the past years, but man, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, she's done so much racing and she's starting to figure out the game and the strategy. As a matter of fact, she has also gone to learning about the kit and the bikes and the wheels. And tonight she is racing on the Pinarello Dogma 2024, which she has learned is the fastest bike out there for this type of course. So she spent her drops, and she's got quite a few drops over the years. She's gained several. So she's on the Pinarello Dogma F 2024. And not only that, she's using the DT Swiss Arc 1100 race wheels. Look at that beautiful disc right there. Don't we wish we could all afford that in the real world? So a nice look at Caitlin's kit tonight. All right, Brianna's got another question. When I program workouts, do I connect using the Zwift companion app or Apple TV? Well, a little bit of both. So we run Zwift through Apple TV on each of our monitors. So in our pain cave, Caitlin has a dedicated 32-inch monitor in front of her that is connected to the Apple TV. And then we have to use the companion app to connect to Zwift. And then that way we're able to load the workouts, we're able to give the ride-ons, we're able to chat using the companion app, and then we're able to see on our TV screen through Apple TV the actual Zwift world. So we don't have a laptop or a monitor like that, we just use the Apple TV. It's been a pretty stable source of Zwifting for us. It took some time and tribulations kind of figuring out you can't have too much Bluetooth in the room, so you have to connect a certain way with the companion app. But yeah, we use those two together. They are companions of one another. So that's what we use to work out. I'll go a little bit deeper and answer the question that when I program like specific workouts, when I write workouts in Training Peaks and we load them into Training Peaks before we go on to Zwift, we can actually open the workout via Apple TV as it's written in Training Peaks. And so that's been fun. A lot of engineering and tech geekery, but it's been pretty fun. Thank you for the question, and if that's what you're doing, you are doing it correctly. Caitlin's setting up once again, front of the pack. Power's dipped below 200, now at 197, but again, it's not just about pure power in these crits, it's more about the strategy, riding smart, conserving that energy when you can.
I'm a little nervous as to what these guys are going to do on the last lap. Have they just been sitting back, waiting to push those big watts they have? Or is this really their legit racing?
Well, I guarantee you we're going to see a sprint finish one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think the question is always when are they going to start that sprint? And how many watts are they going to put out there? And so you have to be ready and paying attention to when they make their move, and you have to be confident to make your move when you know you can sustain that and you can make that push, because you don't want to burn your matches too soon and have the pack behind you catch you. But at the same time, you want to catch up to the people that are in front of you, or you don't want to fall off the pace. But you're exactly right. You never know what the strategy is. You don't know who these riders are and what they're capable of. But, you know, that's what makes this fun. Makes this a lot of fun. Three miles to go. Man, that 10 miles went fast. They are on lap 6 of 7. So we will find out the results of this one sooner than later. Things go very quickly in the Zwift world. Nice and in check. That heart rate now up to 179 for Caitlin. The power at 198. So expecting a sprint finish in this one. She's probably going to be towing the line right around 200 watt average for 30 plus minutes in this race, which is super impressive, super impressive. In Zwift Power, it says her FTP is 191. So to be riding above that, sustained effort for this amount of time, hats off to Caitlin. Caitlin keeping her eyes firmly fixed on that screen, just waiting to see if anyone's gonna make that move. Caitlin, are you gonna be the one to make that move?
I might be. These guys better watch out.
I mean, to some extent, you really have nothing to lose, right? It's just, when do you want to make that move? Do you want to be strategic? I'd say, oh wow, your heart rate actually went down a little bit, 176. Yeah, I'd definitely say this is zone 5 heart rate. This is the highest zone heart rate that she can be at. 181 is her max, or what I've seen her max in the hardest bike efforts. She got to 170 very quickly in the early stages of this race.
Half of it's my nerves.
It's crazy how you get nervous for a, virtual race.
I don't know these people. Just want to prove it to myself.
So it looks like you're sitting in second now. The rider ahead, Palivo, is 21 seconds ahead. And the last time through the banner before the finish, the next time we see that banner, it will be the finish. We are on lap 7 of 7, 1.7 miles to go. Caitlin utilizing that feather up. That is her final power up of the night. From here on out, it is just going to be pure legs, pure power, pure speed, pure effort. And it looks like some folks may be trying to string out the bunch. And Caitlin working her way back up to the front. Caitlin, you do still get nervous for these, right?
I do.
How does this compare to a regular triathlon as far as nerves are concerned?
There's always nerves. I always want to do my best.
Do you feel the change in elevation?
Yeah, you can feel this. I felt that.
Great questions coming in. We appreciate the interaction, the engagement. We want to grow these live streams, so feel free to share it out to the world. I know it takes special people to really enjoy watching this for 30 minutes. Oh, I get nervous all the time, for sure. I'm a barrel of nerves. I'm nervous right now. And I'm not even racing. I'm nervous for Caitlin because I want her to do her best. I'm nervous because I want this live stream to look and sound great. I'm nervous even though I'm just the swimmer for Puerto Rico. I want to make my teammates proud. I want to have a strong race effort and set them up for a good day. Yeah, I'm always nervous. Always something to be nervous about, but you got to try to manage that. And remember, you trained for this. No matter what you're doing, more than likely you've put in training, you put in education, you've done the work to get the rewards and the payoff. So you just have to trust that when the time comes. All right, We are buckling down, less than 1 mile to go. Final lap of this Monday night crit race. Caitlin sitting in the front pack. One rider has gone away. He's 17 seconds up ahead. Very unlikely that the group will bring him back. So now it's a battle for the second and third places on the podium. Caitlin says she just waits to wonder what they're going to do, what these riders are going to do in the home stretch. When are they going to make their move? When are they going to attack? And how much are they going to throw at the rest of the field? Less than half mile now. It's almost over. 197 watts, 180 the heart rate. She is up there, redlining it for the cause. 0.4 miles to go. And with a flat finish, unlike those Zwift tiny races, these last 0.4 miles are gonna come quickly. Probably looking at about less than 90 seconds to go. Now at 0.3 miles, heading at 34 minutes into this race. Caitlin has some company getting in her draft. Diaz Alvarez right on her. Polivo ahead by 18 seconds. Caitlin, you're getting some cheers. Somebody making a move now. Miami making that move, and now the group is going to go with 400 feet. It is time to put it down. A little pitch up toward the finish line. Will Caitlin hold on? She's in 8th place, trying to get back on this group as they are throwing down the big watts. Caitlin, 509 watts across that finish line. Ouch. Ouch. Woo. What a ride. Once again, that was good enough for 7th in the tentative standings. Man, everybody catch your breath. That was a frantic finish, just as you said, Caitlin. You expected it. They did not disappoint. Were you able to respond to that attack? Did you feel like you might have missed it by just a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. I missed it a little bit. I gave them all a free ride for a while. They got to save their legs. But it's not all about all of them. It's about how I know I did. And I feel pretty good with that. Again, though, I probably could have pushed a little harder, a little sooner.
That's what makes you keep coming back for these rides, for these races, is you feel like you learn something every time you race. And yeah, I saw that move, and then it was like, even just a slight hesitation, it's hard to overcome that. And you know, if you look at the standings right now, you were 16 seconds back of the leader, but you were a second and a half back of second place. And you know, that's not much in the big scheme of things. 198 watts the average, 3.4 watts per kilogram. 7th place, at least again in the preliminary standings. Overall, you know, talk about you personally, not overall in the big picture and what the standings look like, but what you've learned competing on this level each and every week, what you've learned about yourself and the ability to push this power.
I've definitely learned some things about myself. I haven't pushed power like this ever. So it's really exciting for me to see that I can do this. And it seems that each week I can perform a little bit better. It's exciting. Ready to see what I can do in a half Ironman when all I'm doing is riding 56.
All you're doing is riding 56. Question from Brianna. You were the only woman racing. I think that we saw one other.
There's two.
Yeah, so two. Not sure where the other finished in this race. I'll look and see if Zwift Power has the results up yet. Actually, wow, they do. So we're going to look at Group D, and so far...
It's nice when you're not the only one.
So far, they don't have it updated yet, but as what it looks like on Zwift Power, you are the highest placing female, finishing 6th overall in Group D with 198 watt average. What got you into Zwift racing, Caitlin?
I don't know. Honestly, it's been a few years. I think when we were first getting into Zwift, we were just trying out things in the Zwift platform, and I think actually it was Tiny Races was the first race we came across, and you know, type 2 fun. I enjoyed them, and so we're kind of putting all the racing to use this season for my training specifically, and I've just found that they're really enjoyable. And when you enjoy doing something, I feel you put out more effort and then get more out of it. Not to say that I'm not doing bike structured workouts, because I'm still doing that, but this on top of it.
So you've been doing a lot of racing live. Are there any other types of challenges that you've considered taking on and live streaming? It seems like you get a lot of motivation, a lot of boost from doing things with a live audience. Is there anything else that you might want to explore in the coming weeks or months?
If you're familiar with the Zwift platform, you probably know about Alpe Zwift, which replicates Alpe d'Huez. It's been a little bit since I've done that climb, but I am interested in putting it out there and seeing how fast I can get up the mountain. It's probably been maybe 2 years since I've climbed it.
I don't think it's been 2 years, but
Oh, it feels like it.
I think it has been a little bit, but I think that's a great challenge. I think there's also some more racing for you. Is there a distance race that you might be interested in trying? I hate to say that 34 minutes is short, but you've kind of been doing short stuff as far as this compares to a 56-mile triathlon bike ride.
Yeah, there are other races out there that are longer, and I would like to do them. It's just kind of structuring it into your day. But yes, it would be fun for me to see how fast I can do a 40K time trial and put myself in a longer race. See how I hold up endurance-wise. Yeah, I'm open.
Cool. Well, I will keep my eyes peeled for another challenge, and you never know when we're going to pop up live. Follow us on Instagram, social media, and we will put out there the next time that Caitlin is racing. More than likely, she'll be doing some tiny races on Saturday, but there might be something between here and there. There might be something coming up in the near future as she prepares to do the bike leg relay of Ironman 70.3 Puerto Rico in just a few weeks. If you've tuned in tonight, we appreciate you watching. As always, thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the cheers. Even if you didn't comment, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Any final words, Kate?
Thank you, Bree. Really appreciate all the interaction and just sending your cheers my way.
All right, and Colin's
really
watching too, so he doesn't want to be...
Colin, you the man. You really are. I mean, you're the best teammate that one could ask for. You're always there. But just having all of y'all out there, Bree, Colin, the cheers, comments, it really helps drive me and helps me get that extra power out. So thank y'all.
All right, it's dinner time at TST headquarters.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will be back live again, to be determined, but stay tuned. More from Team Saunders. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, everyone. We appreciate you.